is talking about the mental health of coaches. Like we have to project this image of confidence and positivity and we have to kind of get people to we have to lead and we have to have this energy when inside like I know there's a lot of days I feel the 180-degree opposite of that and you have to overcome that and that's fucking draining. It really is. And to have to do that day after day can wear on you. And I don't think people understand that. People, you meet people at social events and they're like, oh, you must just love working out and you must get up at 5 a.m. and do all this. And it's like, it's just as hard for me, if not harder, because I'm drained by having to get all this to you. And so I really appreciate that. Like someone actually stood up and like, I'm not the only one out there. Like at the end of the day, like saying like, I don't know if I can fucking do this anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I just want to commend you on, I want to kind of commend you on that. Like, and I think more of us need to, if we need a cohort, I think we need a cohort for that, just to kind of like, to say like, it's okay, like to not be okay as a coach and not be the,
Yep.
guy with the sleeves off, jumping up and down on the sideline who just lives for this shit 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that's kind of like one of the things that made it so cool from the beginning is that like we wanted to emphasize that there was a mental health component to being in the cohort and that like we were going to provide support in a very authentic way. It wasn't just going to be like toxic positivity, which I fucking hate. It's like some days like you're not okay and it's okay to not be okay, but also like it may not be okay for a while and you still have to accept that, right? And so like being able to draw out some of those some of that vulnerability from people through like displaying like my own vulnerability, which like you know being in therapy for the better part of a decade, like you've just kind of learned to do with everyone. Because if you like if the three of us, like if you guys really want to get to know me, like it's not I don't really I don't need to share with you about my coaching. Like I need to share with you about my life. And a lot of my life has been like failure and struggle and like just a bunch of shit. And people are like, oh, you're oversharing. Okay, well, I don't want to be your friend then. Like that's not I'm not interested in you not being interested in me. Right. And so I think, when it comes to coaching, one of the things that I've always tried to do with my athletes at various levels, and again like with boundaries in place, but like I've tried to share some of those struggles and some of those failures that I feel like they can learn from. And so hopefully like they don't make the same mistakes I did, and if they do, which they might, I hope they handle them better than I did. And that's the whole reason like I got into coaching. It's like how can I teach athletes regardless of where they're from, how old they are, what sport they play, what their background is. How can I teach them to fail less and to handle failure better than I did? Because like it fucked me up for one thing, but then also like I don't want anybody else to go through some of the things that I did. And if I can prevent that or help them handle it better, then I'm going to do everything I can to do that. And it goes with coaches as well, right? Like most of the coaches have been with me since all 30 of them in this group, like they know who I am and what I've been through. And some of them have faced me. Even yesterday a coach posted in the group like having a disagreement with a superior who has no business, like he's basically stepping out of their lane. And he's like, I don't know how to handle this. I was like, dude, I was in that situation. I handled it the worst way possible. Don't do what I did. Here's how you can get out of it. And so like being able to draw on that experience, I could immediately help that coach in that situation.
No, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and taking away the gloss of social media, like that we have I always remember a therapist telling me the ones who always look like they have their shit together are usually standing in it, right? And
100%.
and so like to be able to say like just because I'm the one in the front of the room leading this thing doesn't mean that I have it down perfect every day either, right? And
Yep.
you don't even know what I have to deal with once I'm done with this session. I'm exhausted from trying to pull every ounce out of me to give to you.
Yep.